Hey guys, Mark Lyon here, Lion Horses, helping you be the person your horse deserves. Today we're going to go over lead ropes. And in the 30 some years that I've been working with horses, I have used a lot of lead ropes. And so I've got my favorites and the materials. And so I'm going to go over the 4 most common used lead ropes, and I'm going to rate them from worst to best. I'm going to give you the pros and cons of each one, where you might use it and where you probably shouldn't, and hopefully it helps you get a little perspective on when you go to pick out your next lead rope. All right, let's get to it. So number 1, this is the worst lead rope, my least favorite lead rope, and that's the cotton. It's a twisted. They call it laid rope, and yeah, don't like it. Like if somebody hands me a lead rope, and it's the cotton one, I'm going to change it before I work with that horse. I'm probably not going to use that one. I'm going to tell you why. There's some definite. Let's talk about the positives first. It's cheap. Like this one cost me $4 at Tractor Supply. Like they are really cheap. They don't burn your hand very much because they're cotton and they're twisted. They have a little bit of a grip to them, so they tend not to burn your hand very much. I mean, if you run a bunch of it through your hand, it'll burn you, but it doesn't burn as easily. It doesn't burn your hand as easily as some of the other ropes. So those that really are worried about burning your hand, it can work good for that. It's cheap. It's pretty easy to find. Yeah, I don't like it for a lead rope. It's too flimsy, it's too lightweight. Because it's cotton, it's made of a bunch of cotton threads. It just doesn't have the feel or the body or the life in it that I like in a lead rope. It's a mushy connection between you and the horse, so it's hard to be clear with it. It snags easy because any little burr or something, sliver on the hitching rail or whatever will catch that, and it'll start tearing it up, and it just doesn't work. Because it's cotton, it'll rot if it gets wet and stays wet. It'll mildew. Yeah, they don't last very long. They're cheap. There are some places that I like use this kind of cotton rope, and that's for hobbles. If I'm gonna use it around a leg where I think the horse may kick at it a little bit and I don't want it to burn the horse's leg, I'll use this kind of cotton rope, but I don't use it for lead ropes. It's my least favorite. Like, yeah, not going to use it. Okay, the next one is the nylon. Now this is a kind of your next step up. Like this I think was $8-10, something like that. It's not bad. It's okay, but it's very slick. If you're trying to hold on to this thing, it's going to rope burn you. In fact, I would say this is the one that will rope burn you the most. And that's one of the big reasons why I don't like it. It's the way they make it, it's tough to back braid. So to put a snap on it, or to put, to finish the end to make it look nice, it's just hard to finish it. So it doesn't back braid very well. Just not very good. I don't like it. It's too slick, and it doesn't snag as bad. It's not too bad, but it'll catch on something if you get a sliver or a piece of pipe that's rusty and it runs on there. It'll snag it pretty good. So yeah, it's okay. Barely. Like I would barely use this when it's kind of pretty low tier. And it's not very expensive, but yeah, it's kind of cheap. Okay, now we're getting to some good ones. This is your typical yacht braid or Samson style rope. Pretty good. I like it. It feels good in your hand. It doesn't rope burn you very much. If you run a little bit of rope through your hand, any rope will burn you if you run a lot through it. That friction will build up. But this one's pretty good. Not too bad. It's a little bit cushy there. It's a little bit, the outer sheath of it is a little bit, the construction's like those Chinese finger traps that you stick your finger in, so it kind of grabs. So it's a little bit easier to put your termination knot in the end. They'll stick that back in there, and then on the other end, if they want to put a snap in there, they'll double it. So yeah, pretty good, well-constructed rope. The downfall of this one is it's made for boats that are smooth. Like most boats are fiberglass and they're smooth, and yeah, it's not very, there's not a lot to snag on. So when you use them, you know, around a hitching rail or rusty pipe or whatever, they'll start snagging, and yeah, it's not the best. So not bad. I'll use this. I don't mind them. I don't buy them myself. So if I need to buy one, I don't buy these, but they are pretty good. They're pretty good. If somebody handed me this, I'm pretty comfortable using that one. I like the way it feels. Okay, so this is the one I use. This is Arborist rope. So they call it tree line. Yeah, it's a tighter weave. Sometimes you'll see climbing rope made like this, and it's designed so that going over rocks and branches and trees and bark, that it doesn't snag. So it's designed to be used in situations where it's not always smooth. So I like that. It's still got a good feel to it. You can hold on to it pretty good. Doesn't burn your hand. Yeah, this is what I use. It's also not very expensive. This one's about $2 a foot, depending on where you get it. I use this a bunch. In fact, I buy a spool of it every year, sometimes 2 spools, and I cut them up and I sell them at my clinics and the internet, stuff like that, so people want one. I make mine 12 foot. Is what my standard length is. You can make them any length you want. I've got some 8s and 10s and stuff for people that want shorter lengths, but the one I use is a 12-foot lead rope. This is what I use. All right, so that's mine. Now we're getting into the high class ropes. Now we're talking about some nice ones here. This one, a buddy of mine made for me. This is actually Craig Moore made this for me. Gave it to me, and man, I like these. This one, and I've also got another one at home that's made out of braided parachute cord. This one is braided mule tape. And so if you know what mule tape is, it's a piece of nylon, kind of a webbing, like a tape, nylon tape, and they use it to pull wires through conduit. The electricians use it a lot. It's pretty cheap, the material is, but braiding it, yeah, if you're gonna go buy one, be prepared to spend a little money, but they are worth it. I mean, they are super nice. So if you want to spend a little extra money and you want something that really feels good in your hand, it's going to wear like iron. You're not going to wear it out. They're really tough. Get yourself a mule tape lead rope or a braided parachute cord. I actually like the braided parachute cord is my absolute favorite. That one feels so good in my hand. Yeah, it's really, really good. It doesn't want to snag. This one, a close second. Like they're like nip and tuck right there at the top of my preferences. So the mule tape ones are great. Craig actually sells some. If you get a hold of Craig Moore at Moore Horsemanship, he has those. So, but yeah, those are, man, they are top tier. Now they're pretty nice. So if I have a couple of these on my the nicer ones on my horses that maybe I'm going to go to a show or something, and yeah, I'm going to use them a lot. I like these. But yeah, for the average Joe, your arborist rope, tree line stuff, kind of the pretty good one, or the yacht cord, either one. Those are the ones that I recommend. I tell you, you're not going to go wrong with those. So anyway, those are my worst to best lead ropes, and next I'm going to go over some snaps. So in another video, I'm going to go over snaps, my favorite, the ones I think you probably shouldn't buy, and some reasons why. So if you're interested, check out that video. Otherwise, remember, we're all trying to be the person a horse deserves. Catch you guys later.